It is the season of dragonflies, right? I'm really interested in drawing up some Doodle ZenGem style dragonflies. It's really super easy. I'm Stephanie, this is Deliberately Creative, and we're gonna do dragonflies. I just have some watercolor paper. This is an Arteza sketchbook, and I'm almost done in it. I've been using this for a couple of years actually. So see, there's even some Doodle gems in here. Haha! Dragonflies are amazing. And the meaning of the dragonfly across all sorts of cultures is pretty much the same. Change, transformation, adaptability, and self-realization. Ah, so pretty. So what I've done, I just drew a quick little line. That's going to be for the tail. And that's the only line I'm drawing on with a pencil. The rest I will do with a pen. I'm going to put a circle here that's going to end up being a little gem. But to start off with, it's just his body. And I just ring that circle again. At the head, he has big eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 circles on here for big eyes. And then there's like a little bit of a nose. So I'll go ahead and do that too. So this curved line, look at that. We're just going to stack some little U shapes. 1, 2, 3. And I'm just sort of centering it up over that line. Look at that. And these can stay approximately the same size, or you can get a little bit smaller as you go down. They start out a little bit bigger up here towards the body. But see, I'm just stacking U shapes on this line. Going all the way down. I am not counting the number of spaces, but at the very end, I am putting two little V shapes. It's the end of his tail. They have those. For the wings, I'm going to rotate slightly. Always move the paper to be better for your hand. I am trying to make it so you can see also. I do want to put a little extra ring, a little extra circle inside the eyes. And all of the wings come off of this center body bit. Now my wings, even though in life dragonflies have very symmetrical wings, my wings never turn out symmetrical. And that's okay, because you know, if they're moving, the wings can be a little different. And this adds to the whimsical quality of these beginner dragonflies. So what I did is I put 4 little lines on each side, little parallel lines. And that's just where the wing is going to connect. So for me, I find putting these little squared off triangular U-shaped bits, how's that? All right, this is the connection where that lacy wing is attached. So if we have that, it gives you a start, and you just go around. And if you've ever looked whirligig, the maple seed, that's what that looks like. It looks like those little maple seeds. Now this bottom wing, I'm just going to kind of curve it out, come back, flatten out, and then come in. Now, see, not perfect lines, and I can tell you, this is not going to match, and that's okay. I'm doing a little swoop, a little curve, a little flatten out, and a come back. This one's bigger than that one. I'm okay with it. Then we're going to go up. We're going to go around the end. We're going to slant back and come back in. Looks kind of wonkety, doesn't it? There's things that we can do to kind of match these up now, even though they are totally, all of them are different. This is how wild and crazy looking my little dragonfly wings are. I'm going to thicken this one up on the outside edge by just drawing a ring around it. I'm going to thicken this one up on the outside edge, and I'm going to adjust a little bit. See, now they match a little bit better. This one, I'm going to put my ring around on the inside edge on the bottom. This one's going to get a little ring around the outside edge along the bottom. Ah, look at that. We're starting to match up a little bit more, aren't we? And that is what I do. These are doodled. They're not supposed to be perfect. And I want to put the little legs on. They have 6 legs. So you've got 2 legs that go forward. So they're one section, and then the little foot. And then you've got one section that's back here. One section. And the little foot section. Actually, the feet are right out at the very tippy ends. But you don't have to make it anatomically correct. So I'm going to say this one's going to come like this, have a knee, and then like that. I may not have all the sections on here that a little dragonfly would have. I'm sort of tucking in this other leg behind. So if you see what I'm doing here, wherever I hit a line, I pick up my pen. So I was drawing there, I stopped, I picked up my pen, and now I can come like that. You can do this. And remember, it's just a piece of paper. Don't get too hung up over making it, making everything perfect. I'm not. I want you to notice, though, all of the parts are coming off of this center bit right here. They're not coming off of this. This is all of his tail. So all of the legs, the head, the wings, everything's coming off that center thorax, the main bit of the body. And then we've got another one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Fun and easy. So now what I want to do, I'm going to make this very stylized. So inside the wings, this is where, doodling is so much fun. You get to decide how these wings are put together. I want to do these wings kind of like a little stained glass window. So I'm going to sort of do a zigzag and match that zigzag up, going across all of the wings, down. All right, I'm going to do the same thing. This is kind of like the like a Charlie Brown triangles, on the what Charlie Brown always wears on his shirt. The zigzags. We're just doing zigzags, and I'm going to do that here too. Or 2 mountains on each wing at the base. And then I'm going to bring my lines all the way to that first little bit that we did right there. Into the mountains. Then I'm going to do another one, and I don't care which direction I go, but I'm going to add 3 little mountains, or 3 little zigzags. 3 3 little zags. Let's end up with one whole mountain in the middle, it looks like. And by working across like this, I can keep it kind of in line. See, then I'm just connecting. And really what I'm making is like a honeycomb, it looks like, on a dragonfly. But because this is doodling, we can decide the pattern. So if you want more loopy pattern, do a loopy pattern. I'm going to go ahead and do kind of the same zigzag again. And you don't have to do all of the wings at once at the same time. You can finish a wing and then move on. The reason why I wanted to do it this way is so that I could end up with that stained glass look. 'Cause I think dragonflies are just so beautiful. And so many cultures have amazing mythologies around dragonflies. And then doing it, because dragonflies are like flying gems. They can have so many colors. We get a lot of the red dragonflies around here and the blue. I've seen a few green. There. Look at that. All right, so I'm going to go in and start putting in some color. First, I think what I want to do is just put a gray around all of my little body parts. These are just the Derwent Color Soft. They're very much like the Prismacolors, so if you have Prismacolors, go for it. You can use any kind of colored pencil, or you could paint or use markers. I'm just putting in kind of a shadow color. And I'm not being super specific. I like it a little bit loose. So what I'm doing is I am not coloring it in solid. Look at that. By leaving space, you're leaving room for the light. It is just coloring in at this point though. I made myself a coloring sheet and now I get to color it. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of that gray. This is the Dove Gray. It is a soft, soft gray color. I'm going to put a little bit, even though the light's coming from this direction. See, the light's coming that way. So there's going to be more light on these front edges, but I still want a little bit of dark. And now these bottom wings are actually behind that one, so there won't be as much light. It's all about observing, and that's the thing that I think most people forget, is that drawing and coloring are about observing how light and shadow interact. Even coloring in a coloring book, you know, adult coloring being so popular, even now, it is still so popular that people think, oh, well, coloring is something I did as a kid, so there's no skill involved with coloring. Anybody can color. And I will say, yes, anybody can color. Anybody can put color on a page. And anybody can do a good job coloring if they observe the light and the dark. Really and truly, it makes such a difference when you just put a little bit of light with your dark. Look at that. We're almost done getting all the metally bits. So look at that. We can do it. You can do it. Observe how light hits things. You don't have to be observing a dragonfly that's done like this. You can be observing anything. You know, light hits. See, my light is coming straight down. So I've got this high shiny bit right here, but down here it's darker, and over here it's a middle tone, and there's a dark line inside, and there's a dark line along the bottom, and there's dark lines going at an angle and flat across. So observe how light hits things, and then you can start playing. So I'm going to go ahead and color this a blue dragonfly. So I want to first go in, and I want to put a little scribble of some white in this center gem. And we're going to zoom right in on that. And his little eyes also have a little bit of white in them. I just want to preserve the white in these main gems, maybe a little bit on some of these corners. It'll just make the blue a little bit lighter. Now we're going to take the baby blue, and we're going to go in and around underneath of where I put that white. Look at that. We have a built-in highlight. Then I'm going to take a slightly darker blue. This is blue. And I'm going to put that in up here around the top and sort of pull it down into that white. And I want the Prussian blue because it actually has more of that same type of blueness to it. And that's going to be my shadow. I'm not going to use black for my shadow. I want Prussian blue. I want it to be a similar color. I'm going to let a little bit of that flow out onto the metal bit also. I think I want to brush a little bit of that blue. It's like a glow. And now I'm going to go in and put right at the point where these little sections overlap. I'm doing this whole thing very gemmy. So play with it. Look at that, where the lines come up to next to each other, and this is going to be underneath, so it's like they're coming together like this. See, even right here, you can see that shadow that was happening right underneath of that fingertip. That's what's going on right here. We're just putting that little touch of shadow. I don't care if I go outside the lines. Dragonflies rarely stand still long enough to be able to see like this anyway, right? Then I'm going to take that blue. So this is my third color. Right here, because there's already white on here and gray. Well, this would be like the fourth color then, wouldn't it? But this is my mid-tone blue. See how pretty that is? And I'm not even worried about that pencil line that was going down through the middle. It's like the wire that's holding it all together. Yeah, so cool. I think that I'm going to make these little eyeballs into blue gems also. Oh, so pretty. Let's grab actually I'm going to use the Prussian blue down here on the head. What? Yeah, right down inside, and then put just a tiny touch of that dark blue, tuck it in. Oh, that's looking so pretty. I think I am going to grab that white again and just sort of soften those colors together. Look. You can blend your colors. These color softs are so nice for this. I could even take my white down here. You can be as detailed or as simple as you like. Have fun. So I'm going to take that soft blue, the baby blue, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in to all the little windows. Just really quick color this in. I have a whole bunch of super simple, easy drawing lessons. So if that's something you're interested in, it is easy drawings, fun, beginner art, getting creative, and not being pressure. You know, there's no pressure. My classes are always free here on YouTube. I do have a Skillshare, so if you're over on Skillshare, I've got some digital art lessons on Skillshare. All right, so now what I'm going to do is along these edges, because remember the light's coming this way, so the edge of that metal would actually be causing a little bit of a shadow right here and right here. So I'm just going to go and start putting in a little bit of those shadows, just like this. I am going to speed this little bit up just so that we can get to the next part, but yeah, just go in and put in. I'm not doing all the way around, okay? I'm only doing the sides that would be blocked. So here, let me show you. I will do this edge right here. I will drop down and do that edge, and I will do this edge. And then, because the light's still coming this way, there will be a little bit of a shadow from these little wings, but I'm not putting any shadow down on the bottom side. See what I mean? All right. We're just going to move into speed mode now, and I'll see you back here in just a second. Okay, so I'm going to pop back in here. I was just realizing that as I'm going along and noticing that the light is coming this way, there's going to be a couple places here where the light might hit. It might be hitting on the inside of this little one, this little side here. So I'm going to shadow the right side and the top of that, but I'm not going to shadow the left or the back because the light might be hitting across. And the same with this one, it might be hitting right here. So I'm not going to do that part. Just like I didn't do these bottom edges because the light would be catching on that. You just start seeing how the light might catch. But notice how this is really starting to get that feel of 3-dimension. So yeah, just enjoy it, have fun. We have this beautiful little dragonfly. I think that I do want to put a small shadow in underneath. All right, you can do this with any graphite pencil. I happen to have, this is a Pentalic 8B, so it's really super soft. And I'm going to put a little shadow under the wing, around the legs, under the tail, under this wing. And right now you see I'm doing it really loose and I'm not pressing hard. So I'm going in super, super soft and just barely touching, because what I'm going to do is smudge it with this is a blending stump. You could use the paper tortillons. I never know how to pronounce that. Tortillon. So I'm not bringing this, because remember the light's coming from this way. So the shadow is all going to be behind the wing. So there'll still be a little bit of shadow up here. And there'll be a little bit of shadow up on this edge here. And the shadow is actually coming all the way from underneath. Like that. All right. The shadow comes into that body area like that. All right. So now I'm just going to go in really quick. Oh, I need a little bit of shadow underneath of his legs. So now I'm going to take this little blending stump and I am going to smoosh this in. And I do have a kneaded eraser, so I can soften up this graphite some also. But I want to just let it fade out. So it's darkest close up to the wing, and then it fades out as it goes away. There's just a little bit of graphite on here. I'm just going to put that right in here. A little bit of graphite left on the blending stump. This is the shadow under the tail. If you leave a little bit of light, it actually looks like the tail is above. Except that shadow's on the wrong side. That shadow should be on the other side. Look at that. Because I did it lightly, haha, I can just take that off and put my shadow in on the other side. I want the shadow on this side. There we go. See, that's what I want. And that shadow on that edge. Try things out. If it doesn't work one way, change it up. I was looking at it and going, oh, my imagination did not pull that the right direction. It's okay. Now the difference in the shadow between blending it out and not blending it out. Blending it out gives you a softer shadow. You can use a cotton bud to blend. Your little makeup sponges will blend. I am going to lighten the shadow up because I'm not really happy with it being quite so dark. I want it more gentle. But the way to lighten it is to just take my kneaded eraser. Look at that. Softens it up, makes it not quite so in your face. I like that better. Not so dark, but the shadow is there. So see, lightening it up and not lightening it up. You're getting all kinds of lessons here. All kinds of tips and tricks for drawing a dragonfly Doodle Gem. This is the Doodle Gem Dragonfly lesson. I'm going to take that off. We're going to just soften that a little bit right there. And I do want to go in and darken just a smidge. And maybe I will just do that with my pen. Right down here, where the wing bit is attached to the thorax, and where these little legs, I really want them to go back. So to do that, I'm just going to add a little bit of dark ink, black ink. So there. I think that is good. I am going to put my little initials right here. Yeah, so I am super excited to see what you guys do. Please share your artwork with me on social media. I would really love to have you share what you've done. Just tag @deliberatelycreative and I'll see your artwork. Ooh, look at that. I'm just going in, and where his little joints are, I'm just making them darker. I could go in and continue playing and adding more stuff. The last step, very last step that I love to do is add a bright white highlight in the darkest area and a little tiny dotted line there you go. Remember, go out, do something creative, guys. Take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. I want to see you back here again really soon. See ya.